Mike Motor, Friday main event here with Coach John Olive. Coach, you guys coming off a huge year, one of the better years you've had in recent history. What was the general vibe coming into this spring practice for you guys?
Well, I think everybody's excited about trying to build on what we accomplished last year. The big thing is they have to understand that we lost a lot of those teammates, so we'll be a completely different team this year than we were last year, but we're excited about it and see if we can't improve our speed a little bit. Maybe we can get back into the thick of things.
Coach, of course you lose Kobe Burks, Race Marin, Bryson Core, a lot of big playmakers. You do have a quarterback, Ben Fulton, back. How's he look this spring?
Ben's had a solid spring, and he's going to do well. He's still got some weapons with him, so we're excited about where Ben is, and we won't play him much tonight. We'll let the younger guys fight it out for most of it.
Coach, some of the names I noticed when I was kind of looking back over last season, Hunter Palmer, Hollingsworth, Jacoby Thomas, Hunter Jewell, some of the bigger playmakers for you last year. How have those guys looked, and do you expect them to take on leadership roles this year?
Well, that's the big thing. We're looking for the leaders, and all four of those guys, and Quentin Howard, those guys they're solid. They're rock solid in the springtime here. Palmer and Thomas are obviously two guys that we've got to be able to get the ball in their hands more than a few times a game.
And Coach, I was kind of going over my preseason top 10, looking over teams for 4A. I do have the Tullahoma Wildcats in the top 10, but probably more so than in recent history, 4A wide open with Greenville losing a lot, Elizabethton losing a lot. What teams in your region in particular are you expecting to be the toughest teams to work against?
I thought Spring Hill has more players who have played coming back. Marshall County ended up playing a lot of players last year because of their injury situation. So I think those two teams are probably the two that are, as far as having players that have been on the field when the action is hot, they're probably the two teams that I would put at the top of our region. You don't know what Maplewood's had show up. We know, they lost a lot of young men like we did. When they did their senior night, there wasn't many over there on their sideline, and only two of them actually played in the ball game that night. So, being a metro school, you just never know what's going to show up at their doorstep.
And Coach, this particular spring practice, any surprises, any kids you weren't really expecting to come out and then take on a leadership role, but they've shown a lot of improvement over last year?
Well, I think that we've got a couple of young linemen that have had some really good days. They just got to become more consistent. Trent Epsey being one of them. He played on the freshman team last year. He's caught our attention. Jaquez Elliott's finished up well this week. Somebody that had some abilities but just wouldn't turn it loose. Nick White is back, defensive end for us. So we've had several. Seth Collins, another one that's caught our attention. So we've been missing some of our linemen, two of them that started for us last year, Poe and Caden Bradford. So it's given some of the other linemen a chance. Jalen Newsom's had a really good spring, especially at defensive tackle. So, those are probably the ones that I'm probably left somebody out, but I know those guys have caught our attention.
Coach, like I said, I kind of looked over your region schedule and the team that you did mention that I kind of noticed that with Wharton, he was out last year for Nolensville. The sophomore quarterback looked pretty good. Is that a team we need to watch?
Well, yeah, they'll be solid. They're like us, though. They lost a ton of players that had played 3 years for them. And so by the time we play them, they'll be in pretty good shape probably, but the early part of the season, they're going to be playing a lot of players that have not seen much playing time except, their quarterback has, and they've got a couple of others that have, but we were a senior-laden region last year, and Marshall County lost a lot of seniors, but they had that injury situations take place, so they ended up playing a lot of young players that got a lot of good experience. That's the reason I put Spring Hill and them at the top as far as returning players.
Right.
Now, Nolensville's, they'll be solid. They're going to be a solid football team. I just don't know how long it'll take them to gel, because it's just different playing JV and jumping up and playing varsity.
And Coach, we spoke before we went on camera, and you felt like probably team speed is probably the area you guys really need to improve upon before next fall.
That's correct. That's the Achilles heel right now, and you either have it or you're chasing it. And last year we had really good speed. We could run people down, and this year we've still got a few that can run, which means you can play offense. It just hurts you on the defensive side of the ball, because what should be a 0 to 1 yard gains of 5 or 6. Right. What should be 5 or 6 is 15 or 20, and what's a 15-20 is a touchdown.
Right.
And that's where the lack of speed really. So we're gonna work hard on it. That's our goal during the month of June, is to try to knock a tenth to a tenth and a half off everybody's 40 time.
Well, Coach, I'm really looking forward to the season, buddy. I appreciate you giving me the time, and good luck to the Wildcats.
I appreciate it very much.